Okay, so we need to render a few things here, and these are I will consider bonus lah. Okay, you can take a look at this model here, and this model is done by Mr. Villian. Okay, and what we want to render out is something called ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion is something like a shadow, but this shadow is fake one. There's no light. There's no light, how can you have shadow? So basically this ambient occlusion, or so-called like fake shadow, is to illustrate certain areas that are too close to one another, and then you cause that particular shadow, okay, the shadowing. So how you actually bake them out? Maya itself, you can actually bake them out as well, but I'm going to introduce to you another software called Xnormal. Okay, in order for you to activate or look out for Xnormal, you can go to your start program, just type out Xnormal, you should be able to see it. It's a free software, you can just Google search for it and download and use it at home. Once you open it up, okay, we are going back to Maya to export out your 3D mesh. At this point of time, you must understand that your unwrap must be completed. If your unwrap is not done, there's no point doing this particular baking, okay, of the ambient occlusion. Another thing to take note is that your shell or your polygon mustn't overlap. For example, if I have one overlap here, I need to remove it. I cannot allow any of these overlap to happen. If I have any overlap, what is going to happen is that when you are baking for that particular surface, for this area alone, the information will be overwriting one another. Because you have two faces there, the computer will read 2 times, they will write it 2 times at the same location. So you need to actually move it away. But if some of your model, you are doing just a planar map and you have a double side on that particular area, then no choice. When you bake it out, the area will be black. Then you leave it as such lah. Just erase it away in your Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to put them together, and then we'll see what happens later on. Once you check your UV is okay, you can just close it. There's nothing to change. Your 3D model, you need to have a duplicate. One is the original mesh that you don't want to touch. The other one, when you duplicate out, you need to smooth it. So you go to mesh, smooth it at least twice. It'll be quite heavy, so just take note that your computer might not be able to handle too many things. Once you smooth it at least twice, select the object, go to File, Export Selection. You need to use OBJ Export. Now some of your computer already have OBJ Export. If you don't have this, you will need to activate it. So how you activate? Go to Windows, Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager. Look out for OBJ Export. Make sure it is ticked. Okay. By default, Maya didn't load this in for you, so you have to go and load it in yourself. Once you load it in, just close it, go back to your file, make sure you select the object, export selection. Do not use select all, do not use export all. Make sure you use export selection. Look out for where you want to save it, export it, and then we can go straight to Xnormal. Okay, now in Xnormal, although there are many things on the right side here, we are going to use only a few of them, maybe just 3 buttons only. Okay, but you go straight to High Definition Mesh. This is where you will load in your file. Under your file section, right click, add the mesh, look for the particular mesh. Where do you save it? Low res mesh, Same thing here. I'm going to load the same model. Baking option. Okay, baking option, the button here. This is what you want to bake up, what are the information that you want. Output file is the same thing. Where do you want to save it? I think by now it's quite straightforward. You guys should be familiar with it. The size is the resolution. For now, I'm going to keep it small, 512, for test rendering. Test rendering is to do a quick check. If the render got problem, then you should go and rectify it. Because if you render 2K resolution right now, take a while, maybe 5 minutes, you waste the time. So you render something smaller, save the time, check for problem. No problem, then you render the full 2K resolution. Beside the resolution, you have edge padding and you have bucket size. Keep it as default for now. Okay, 16 followed by 32. Map to render, look out for ambient occlusion. This part here is crucial because previously maybe some other students use normal map, height map, then they are tick. So if all these are being tick, when you render out, you waste the time. So just focus only on the ambient occlusion part. Just tick it. Okay, give it a tick. That's good enough. Renderer and anti-aliasing. Make sure it is default bucket renderer and not OpenGL. Anti-aliasing, keep it to 4 times. The best quality for now. Far override warning. Up to you, optional, to tick or not to tick. If you're going to render it again, this will warn you if you want to override or not. Okay, with that, just go down all the way to the top bottom right corner, generate map, click on it, it'll render out for you. If there's any error message, read the error message and try to troubleshoot it. Okay, so now the computer is actually rendering out the ambient occlusion. You will be able to see certain areas are repeating itself. This portion here. Okay, this portion here. This portion here. That's because the mesh is one whole solid object. By right, okay, how you use AO map is that you want to split them nicely. You won't want to combine them all together. Okay, this is just an exercise for you to get familiar with Xnormal. Okay, once this is rendered out, I think this is good enough. It's not going to be perfect, but this is good enough. Okay, I'm going to re-render this because this is a test render, 512 only. So I changed back the size to 2K, 2048 by 2048. Do one last render. You ask me if I want to overwrite. Yes. Now it will take longer. So we wait for it to render and then we will move on to Photoshop. Okay, so here I have a render of it done previously. This is how your ambient occlusion looks like. Okay, how you can use your ambient occlusion. I'm going to split out these two documents. So on my left, that was the Photoshop file that I did yesterday. Okay, the one you can watch the other video, preparing your UV for Photoshop, for texturing. So on my right, there's my ambient occlusion. So you need to transfer your ambient occlusion over to your texturing file. So how you use it? Press V. Again, V is for your move tool on the top left. the first tool on Photoshop. Hold on to Shift, click on your document, drag it over, let go of your left mouse. Okay, that's it. In this case, this render is too small. Okay, so I'm going to undo it. I'll check my render if it's completed. Still rendering. Okay, I'm going to cheat for a while. I'm going to upsize this render to 2048. Okay, Shift left click, drag over. This one here I can close already. Okay, at this point of time, your AO map, you will need to change your blending mode to multiply. Okay, put it below your UVs. Now you can just do a quick save. As a as a diffuse. Taga format. Do not use JPEG. Okay, I say again, do not use JPEG. Please use a Taga. Okay, and call it diffuse. Okay. Save it. Go back to Maya. The high-res mesh, you can delete it, you don't need it anymore. Select your low-res model. Right-click, assign a new material. Make sure it's a blend. Okay, so I have one blend here. Okay, go to your color. Load in that particular file. Please do not load in your Photoshop file. I repeat, I don't want to see any one of you loading in your Photoshop file. I want to see only the diffuse Taga. If you use Photoshop file, your marks will be deducted. Alright, so please use the Taga file. Once you load it in, you'll be able to see your model with some kind of a shadow, adding in details to certain areas. Not perfect, but all these things can be cleaned up later on. Okay, so that's it for the first part.